Hello and welcome to the first round of a new season of the International GT League. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long wait. Vitman G was your reigning champion, winning in Season 4. There are the teams. This is indeed the calm before the storm. So it's Vitman G that takes pole position from May, who starts second on the front row. Here we are on the grid at Fuji. We're all lining up, we're all ready for the start of a brand new season. It's always an unknown jumping into the IGTL for a new season. Lights down, away we go. It's a fantastic start from Foxy here. A lot of drivers getting a lot of wheel spin. May looks to have jumped Vitman G off the line. It's brilliant run down into turn 1. Who's got drag race? May has the inside line. Is May going to do it? I think he does. And I think that's Incisi. And there's a car going in. And he's gone deep. There's contact. There's a lot of contact. And I think that's Rita Tay gone off. I think Addo was involved in that one. Maybe Incisi as well. Tay's gone a long way off. That's going to be a lot of damage from Tay. A huge collision off the line. And now the aftermath of picking up the scraps as Robert being overtaken from M3 guy. Addo's going slow. Tay's going slow. He's got damage from that as well. That does not surprise me. There's cars flying around all over the place. There's your two Subarus in Extra Sissy Racing going around turn 3. What a huge crash going on at the start. Hobo Fraggins, I think, is making the move on Foxy. First lap collision, that is obviously that huge shunt. And I think that's not the start Addo was hoping to make. That was not the first impression he was wanting to make. Vitman G now drops behind May then off the line. A fantastic start from May's. Foxy going to try and have a look. I think Foxy is going to try and have a look down the inside of Hobo here. Now that's Frosty on the back of Robbo. Robbo's going slow. I wonder if he's going to pick up a penalty. Yes, he does. Robbo picks up a penalty. 6 is going slow. If we ever see drivers going slow, it's because they picked up a penalty. You have to clear your penalty within 2 corners now. So the two. And M3 guy goes wide, so does Squeaks. I think M3 guy might get a penalty for that. The two Volkswagen GTIs. And in fact, that Squeaker's going down the inside of Hobo Fraggins into the final corner. Who's going to get the better run? I think the Jag might have the better straight line speed here. We've got a Mercedes versus an Aston Martin. And there we go at the end of the first lap. It's May who leads Vitman G, who leads an NJ, who leads Crazy Botox. Foxy now alongside M3 guy coming down the main straight. Frosty's just hanging around in the background. And that's side by side between Hobo Fraggins and Squeakers going down the main straight, heading into turn 1. I think has that Hobo Fraggins gone in front? Yes, he has on the Jaguar. He's squeaked to be able to do the switchback. It looks like he's sending it on. Frosty goes down the inside of the ball. Was that a double move from Frosty? There seems to be contact up in front. There's cars going slow, and there's Hobo being hit around by Frosty. That's Incisi trying to recover everything. That must have been an incident because it is under investigation for a collision coming out of the first corner. Hobo Fraggins in 8th place then. Incisi's got Squeaks trying to go around the outside. Now Hamza ticks his way through the inside, now tries to get a run onto him. Hobo's going slow, and now Incisi, is he going to make the opportunity? Hobo looks vulnerable at the moment from Incisi. Is he going to make the move? M3 guy is going slow as well. He's on the back of Foxy. Vitman G appears to have dropped back considerably. I think Vitman G got a penalty. He's dropped down to 7th. There's a huge landmass of cars on the way down from, I think that's like 4th down to 12th. And speaking of 12th, Robbo's just gone out wide. I think that's Frosty trying to make a move. Robbo has dropped out wide. Hamza, who is replacing Melon for this race, who can't make it, who would ordinarily be Robbo's teammate in the Volkswagen. Right then, so here we go. Then Vitman G's trying to make a move on him. Free guy. They're trying to follow each other around. You now need to get the exit out of this final corner. Look at them all. They're like 6 down to 12. It's like 6 or 7 cars there in one shot. What incredible start to this race it has been. It'll be interesting to see what the steward's verdict are on a couple of these incidents. Hamza's trying to make the move on Hobo. Is he going to be 3 wide? Is Squeak's going to try and slow himself down the middle? He stays in the slipstream of the Jaguar. Hamza's been exposed and he's not gotten the slipstream of anyone. Squeaks is trying to go down the inside of Hobo, and on the outside he's in the middle of Hamza. Hamza, the pure brute force of that Volkswagen, coming down the inside now into turn 1. Is Hamza going to keep it there? Squeaks has gotten past Hobo. Will he keep it though? Hobo trying to come past, and now Hobo's in the middle. He tucks behind Squeaks. Hamza's into 10th, and Squeaks comes down the inside. Does he keep it into turn 2? Yes, he does. As Robbo's a right little scrap shaping up here on lap 3. You've got Hobo Fraggins who's dropped down behind 11th. Speaking of which, has been given a penalty for that collision on lap 2. Also, we saw Addo 2014 has been given 6 super license points. If you get 9, it's qualifying van. 12, it is a drive-through in the next race. So you do not want to rack them up. Crazy, I think's getting the run. Someone else who's getting the run is Robbo, who's going around the outside of Hobo. There, as we saw through turn 4. We can see them now all flying their way around. Now the Volkswagens are moving up. They're now sat in 10th and 11th. It's 9th place for Squeak. And Hamza's trying to get very close to him. Robbo's trying to follow his way through. The one golden rule in racing is that you don't want to hit your teammate, and that's going to be something in Robbo and Hansa's mind. They don't want to hold each other up, but they also don't want to drive into each other. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Will they end up working together to fight their way up the field? Squeaks is trying to hold on to Hansa in the Yorkshire T Racing car. So we've got Squeaky Buttocks versus the two Yorkshire T Racing Volkswagens and a Ninja Hobbo Racing of Hobbo Fraggins and the Jaguar behind. Now, how does this shape up as he come down the main straight? You can see them all in the slipstream. They're tucking down the slipstream. We can expect to see a lot of overtakes here. Speaking of which, is Vitman G coming down the inside in the Peugeot. The reigning champion fell back down the order a bit early on. Now he's coming down the inside of Foxy into turn 1, under braking, easy move, easy as you like. The reigning champion starting to move his way back up the order now. Fantastic racing. M3 guy is remained himself ahead of INCC. His teammate Extra Frosty. Squeaks has gone out on the exit of turn 1. That allows BJ28 to go through. And now both Hansa and Robert are ahead of Squeaks, and now hunt down the other Squeaky Buttocks car of Crazy Buttocks in the Lexus. So it'll be interesting to see what the Lexuses can do, because the Lexus is a really strong car. Ninja now moved up into second. May has gotten a huge gap over Ninja and Frosty. Vitman G's moved himself up into fourth, and there's two cars going side by side there. That's M3 guy and INCC. Is INCC going to hold it around the outside? He's going to try go around the outside. It's not quite enough at the moment. What a fantastic early stage to this race. Does INCC cut back? No, he doesn't. And the Mercedes of M3 guy keeps ahead. Crazy Buttocks is still in 8th place. Hansa, I'm sure, will be wanting to decrease that gap. As we can see now, we've got INCC and M3 guy going very close, nose to tail, through this really tricky final sector. You need to get this final sector right. There's Hansa just in the background. And now, here we go, onto the final corner. You want to get the exit of the final corner. We can see Hansa in 9th, 10th place is BJ28, 11th is Squeaks, 12th is Hobbo Fraggins, Tay down in 13th and Adder in 14th. They must have swapped positions somewhere. And now Squeaks is trying to get the run on Hobbo Fraggins. Here comes Squeaks. Is he going to come down the inside of Hobbo? I think he's going to try to. He's just about in the slipstream. Does he pull over to the inside? He looks to go, so I wonder if he's serving a penalty there down the main straight. M3 guy also serving a penalty, and it looks like Hansa might just be able to get in front of him. However, does Robbo also follow him round? Hansa tries to go around the outside, and he does, but he didn't quite clip the apex because M3 guy was there. M3 guy's been given an opportunity to fight back, and he's taken it. M3 guy has overtaken Hansa. He's found his way back through. Now, what can Hansa do? Can Robbo get close enough to these two to maybe get them both? It'd be an interesting race to see how this develops between the two Volkswagens. Now then, Hansa following through turn 3. The Austrian, the reserve driver, is coming in for this race. We don't know if he'll be making another appearance throughout the course of this season. There's a chance it might happen. And down the inside goes Hansa. He looks to shave that one up. He didn't quite commit to the inside line there. That is a viable overtaking spot, but you have to be wary of how the track opens up. And the exit, Extra Frosty runs wide. Ninja slides through. Where's Vitman G? Vitman G's right behind him. And now is Vitman G got the opportunity. Now this final sector is a horrifically technical one. Crazy Buttocks getting a bit squirmy out on the exit there. Hansa, Robbo, Squeaks are in 10th, 11th, 9th, 10th and 11th. Foxy's just edging out INCC still. Vitman G looks to try and make the move down the inside into the final corner to find his way onto the top 3. And the reigning champion is back onto a top 3. A podium paying position. What an incredible charge this is from Vitman G. He's moving his way up the order in these 5 laps after dropping down to 7th early on. Now, does Extra Frosty come in? Yes, he does. An early pit stop. The first driver to pit in. And his Subaru Extra Sissy teammate INCC also follows him. I wonder if that was a scheduled pit stop. And 3 guys also win in the Mercedes, the first non-Subaru driver to pit in. So that leads Crazy Buttocks up to 5th. 6th place is Hansa, 7th BJ Robert 28. So the Yorkshire T racing cars are going well at the moment, and they're near each other on track. Hobbo's had a couple of incidents with Squeaks has been under investigation quite a few times early on in this race. And down the inside goes Hobbo. He launches it down the inside. I think he's outbraked himself there, and he's been caught out by the gravel trap, and that looks to be a problem for Hobbo Fraggins, who has been definitely caught out, and he's lost a lot more time than he gained there. I don't know if that was just an opportunistic dive bomb there from Hobbo Fraggins trying to desperately get in front of Squeaks. It did not work, and now I think that's Frosty right back on him, on Frosty, who's pitted in already. It's a bit disastrous that Frosty's already straight back behind Hobbo Fraggins. It's not something you want to happen for a man that's just come out to pits. Hansa's in 6th, 7th is BJ Robert 28, so the two Volkswagens are in 6th and 7th despite starting in 10th, 11th, 12th. Yes, no, Hansa started 12th, Robert started 9th, so they're running well at the moment. not pitted, and so that's given them a couple of positions. A bit of dust being kicked up there. Crazy Buttocks is going very slow. I mean, he's been caught up a lot now by Hansa. Now, what can Hansa do here? Is Hansa going to be able to make this opportunity to overtake Crazy Buttocks? He comes around the final corner. We've heard there's a lot of power in that Volkswagen. May comes into their pits in the last to last racing car. Vitman G's in the Vitman G Racing, and the Ninja Hobo Racing of Ninja is in. That does look like that's going to lead Foxy to go on to lead this first race of the season. Hansa's on the run on the back of Crazy. He's in the slipstream. He pulls out the slipstream. Is he going to make the move down the straight? It looks like he has. Simple move. Just a case of who's got a better straight line speed, and that's an easy move from number 86, Hansa. However, he runs a bit deep, and he goes out onto the AstroTurf, which then turns to grass. Hansa loses it coming out of turn 1. Hansa could have made the move, could have been on the top 3, unfortunately wasn't, and now that moves Robbo into 4th and Vitman G into 5th, so Hansa did get in front but then lost it. Hobo Fraggins has been given a dangerous driving warning, so he's been warned by the steward about his conduct in these first 6 or 7 laps. Now Vitman G's on the back of Robbo. How much longer will Robbo be able to hold on against the championship leader? This is not a fight we see often happening. Vitman G's along the inside, Vitman G's in front, and that was easily dispatched. So Vitman G made the 2 Volkswagens light work, the 2 Yorkshire T Racings. Hansa went off and Robbo didn't really put up much of a fight. I don't know whether that's a case of he just was outclassed there, or whether he didn't see much point in fighting Vitman G, a man that's competing possibly to win despite dropping back. He's got the pace and he's been charging his way up the field ever since. What a cracking start to this race we've had. What a cracking start to the season. It's probably been the only opportunity where we've not been focusing on everyone going wheel to wheel. But speaking of which, Foxy and Crazy are close. Neither of these two have pitted, fighting in 2nd and 3rd. Vitman G has pitted and he's the reigning champion. Is he going to get past Crazy Buttocks? Where's Foxy in all of this? I think Foxy peels off into the pit lane. Indeed he does. Vitman G now, as we ride on board with Vitman G, he comes alongside Crazy Buttocks. He's still alongside Crazy Buttocks. You can see him there. Crazy Buttocks has got the driving line, but it's not like Vitman G's been compromised much. And there's Crazy Buttocks behind. Gets the car slowed down, gets it rotated round, and that's out to overtake with Vitman G, your season 4 champion. So that moves Crazy back into 3rd. Still a fantastic position for Crazy. What a start to this season it's been for him. Now we're seeing Extra Frosty and Ninja, and not far behind Frosty is his teammate Incisi, who's managed to call his way back to him. M3 guy Resertage charging his way back. Squeaks, Robbo and Hansa have all pitted, so both the Yorkshire T's have now pitted. One of the Squeaky Buttocks has pitted. Resertage trying to charge his way up the order. I think there was an incident between the 2 Porsches there. There's going to be some choice words after this race in that Red Bull Porsche garage. Not the way you want to start with your new teammate. Hopefully tensions won't boil over too much. I'm sure they could work out an agreement in Ada's debut. It's not gone the way he wanted it to. So then is Resertage going to get to the back of M3 guy? We will be watching a replay of this off the start. This is Ada we're on board with, so we can see he got a decent launch. Second phase of the start wasn't very good, so when he got a very good start was Foxy. Robbo just coming over a bit. It just doesn't seem to break, or at least he does break a lot later. Clobbers Incisi. You can see off in the background is Racer Tay. That's really disappointing for Tay, because I think Tay was quick in qualifying and could at this point be challenging May and Vitman G for a win. He'd have at least gotten a podium out of this race. Be interesting to see what he does now. Speaking of which, is Racer 10 now that we're on board with. He's started 3rd. So you can see there's Vitman G and May. So we've got Vitman G Racing. Last to last racing, of course, is a team championship, which adds into a different flair, different style of racing. Not the best start from Racer T. You can see there's Incisi getting away. And now coming down into turn 1. He's not going to see much. That's a huge collision. Tay just got sent flying. He's off into the gravel trap. He's almost gone into a completely different part of Japan there. He just went spinning uncontrollably at turn 1 with quite some speed, and now he's got quite the task to get as many positions back as he can, to get as many points as he can this early on in the race. What have we got now? This is Incisi, who started 4th, as we saw from Tay's replay. Got a good start, did jump Tay into turn 1. Little did Incisi know that that would be his downfall, because Incisi actually got caught up in that, and despite here jumping Tay, got a good start. He's now getting in the slips from May, which will allow him to close up on the RCZ of Vitman G. Comes into turn 1, and bang! Now he was a bit cushioned really by Resite, but he gets on the AstroTurfs. As soon as he gets onto the curve, actually he struggles to rejoin. There's Robbo, I think he just hit slightly in the rejoin, which is unfortunate for the Volkswagen. He's obviously returning driver, wasn't in C4, neither was I. Took a break, and there he is. There comes Robbo, he's back and he's down the inside. Frosty, also Insis's teammate, managed to do it. It's an interesting start. Speaking of Robbo, here we are now fitted with the helmet cam. Yes, it's back. And here we go. Let's see how Robbo starts in the weirdly looking open roofed Volkswagen Vision GT GTI. A relatively decent start, not the best. As you can see, Foxy just launches himself off the line. Adder at this point alongside him. Adder at this point is flying down the inside. You can see he just doesn't brake, struggles to brake. See a lot of smoke being kicked up. Two Porsches. What happens to Insisi? Just loses it. Robbo's just not had the time to react, and he's not had the space to react because he had Foxy on one side. Hubbo didn't get involved, neither did M3 guys, so they both found that easy. He's that road trying a bit opportunistic there for Robbo to try and find his way back past. That would be why Insisi lost the positions. Now then, speaking of which, Resite on his comeback charge on lap 8 of 17. Resite goes down the inside, he's down the inside of M3 guys, he's going to hold that, down the inside again, he's under braking. Is that the move stuck in the Porsche? I think it is. He's overtaken the Mercedes, and that's job done. That's another position. He's really been fighting his way with the order. He has been helped by pit stops. I'm not sure whether Resite is pitted in. The majority of cars have, so I know Crazy Buttocks hasn't pitted in. It looks like, speaking of which, Crazy Buttocks is in now, and that means Crazy Buttocks at this point. Could it be a one-stop for him? I think he might be the only one trying it. I don't think Resite is pitted unless he pits this lap. Then yeah, no, I think Resite is definitely pitted then at this point. Extra Frosty coming down the inside of Ninja. He's ahead, and now is Frosty going to hold off Ninja? I think he will. But is this team orders in play? Is Frosty holding off Ninja and backing Ninja into his teammate, into Frosty's teammate Insisi? Or is this a genuine scrap for third? It looks like it. Frosty holds him now. It doesn't look like he's backing him up because Insisi's not getting any closer to Ninja. Now Ninja is going to have to try and clear these two Subarus if they are working together. It's going to be detrimental to Ninja's race. Unless, of course, this is used for fuel saving. Insisi could be just fuel saving. He could be sat behind them trying to save fuel to extend his stint so that he ends up getting the best strategy. Resite is not far behind after dispatching of M3 guy. We've got Foxy in 8th, 9th and 10th. Is Robbo and Crazy Buttocks who are close together. Is Robbo getting close to shaping up a move? We're going to have to find out. Is Robbo going to be able to overtake Crazy Buttocks? He looks to be getting very close to him now. So we'll see how this all pans out. Now the final sector is not the best for overtakes, but we have seen a couple of bold attempts. Particularly Resite went down the inside here. M3 guy Robbo makes his intentions, he doesn't quite do it. Sort of just filling up Crazy Buttocks mirror, making sure Crazy Buttocks knows that Robbo's there. And now Insisi coming onto the main straight. Has he got the slipstream on the Jaguar of Ninja? Extra Frosty, does he come into the pits? He looks like he is. No, he's not. Ninja moves over to get the slipstream. Insisi hasn't moved over to get the slipstream, but now they all move back onto the driving line. Frosty weaving across the track. Either he's braking the tower, he's going very defensive. Either way, it looks like Frosty might be going defensive. He's taking a defensive line into turn 1. Who brakes later? The Subaru brakes deep. As does Ninja. They both managed to go well, and that's Frosty holding on till he's living to fight another day against Ninja. He does not want to lose his position. Meanwhile, Robbo's going side by side with Crazy Buttocks down the main straight, and it looks like that move's done. Robbo safely moves across to get back on the driving line before the first corner. Tries to find the optimal line, although he looked to brake maybe a bit too early for Crazy. Crazy looked to brake a bit later than Robbo, as shown in the fact how much Crazy joined. I think Crazy might have picked up a penalty for that first corner, but he suddenly started to drop back a bit. And now Ninja is trying to get the run on Extra Frosty. Does he make it? No, not quite. Now Insisi, they're so very close to each other. They're nose to tail. Is it Ninja going to make it? He's trying to try and go around the outside. Goes Ninja. Not quite enough. Not quite enough. And that's now Insisi's opportunity. Frosty goes wide. Frosty's having an off-track excursion. That allows Ninja to get in front. Now how does this play out for the two Subarus? Do these two Subarus fight? Or will the Extra Sissy Racing guys hold them off? Will they want their two drivers to fight? Ninja is getting ahead. If Insisi can get him, surely it would be worth letting Insisi go. and allowing IGTL to have a crack at Ninja, and down the inside goes IGTL into the final corner. Now Frosty might have the run. It's looking like I'm getting double vision as we're seeing both Subarus going wheel to wheel, and Resete's gone out wide at the final corner, and 3 guys hitting in 7th, 8th place Foxy, 9th is Robbo's, 10th Crazy Buttocks, and he's really pulling out a gap. In fact, Squeaks, the Squeaky Buttocks teammate of Crazy Buttocks, is now right on the back from Hansa's now in 12th. I believe that to be where he started. So the 2 Crazy Squeaky Buttocks drivers are getting closer to each other. IGTL has overtaken Frosty, and he's staying in front because Frosty's the first of them 3 in that battle. So it'll be crucial to see where Frosty comes out and where he comes out, and where IGTL and Ninja will rejoin in that battle, because I'm sure that battle's not over. There is Frosty, rejoins in 11th he's behind this bit of a scrap here between Yorkshire Tea and Squeaky Buttocks. It looks like we could see these 2 fighting out in the midfield throughout the course of this season. If this race is anything to go by so far, it's looking like the battle that we might see throughout the midfield is Yorkshire Tea versus Squeaky Buttocks. It's looking likely now because they're very close to each other on track. Hansa's doing everything he can to defend against extra Frosty. Frosty goes to the outside for turn 4, under braking, he swoops it round the outside, and that's an easy move, but it curves back, and he's done it. We've seen a couple of moves done there. It's not the most favourable of overtaking places, but we have seen plenty successful overtakes there. The track is very wide at parts in this circuit, so it does allow for a lot of overtaking and wheel-to-wheel racing with a bit of leeway, because it's a very wide track at parts around in the shadow of the Fuji mountain in Japan. So then we've got BG-Robber28 trying to catch up to back of Foxy. He dispatched of Crazy, now his targets are set, and now Hansa's been dispatched by Frosty. Frosty targets Squeaks. Does he go down the inside? Yes, he does, and down the inside he goes into the final corner. Does Squeaks get the exit, or will Hansa be able to get them both? Now, is Squeaks within an opportunity to overtake both? Squeaks is in an opportunity to retake that position of Frosty. He's in the slipstream, IGTL's in, so the Subaru teammates, so that means both Subarus have made the second stop. Resete's in the pits, and now they're going side by side down the main straight. Squeaky and Frosty are going side by side. There's IGTL coming out the pits on your inside. Frosty, don't hit your teammate coming out the pits. He's had to go a bit slower than allow Squeaks to try and go around the outside. Hansa's trying to get the run on them all now, and Squeaks is still going side by side. He's still heading side by side into turn 2. Hansa, where's Hansa going to get himself involved in all of this? Down the inside goes Squeaks. Does he hold it? No, he doesn't. He backs out, and Frosty takes 8th place in the end. Hansa now trying to stick with Mess Squeakers to see if he can see an opportunity to get his Volkswagen up into 9th place. That's now Frosty, and it looks like Hansa might be shaping up a move on Squeaks. It's not quite IGTL and Frosty are still very close to each other on track. We now have Hansa on the back of Squeaks, and Squeaks runs a bit wide. Now there's that the opportunity. Is Squeaks just become vulnerable to Hansa to make the overtake? Look how much Robbo's closing in on Foxy. It's looking like we could see a quick scrap between Foxy and Robbo. Foxy's teammate unfortunately disconnected just before the race, so that's unfortunate. The Foxy Old Farts Racing only has 1 representative, so Foxy needs to score as many points as he can to keep the 2 Aston Martins in a contention for the Constructors' Championship, of which we now have as well. This season is a Constructors and a Drivers' Championship, so 2 championships. But May's going down the inside into turn 1. Is he going to get it on the braking? Yes, he does. He turns the car in. Who's going to get the exit speed out of the first corner? It looks like Vimman holds it around the outside, but they're still side by side. The 2 leaders were actually teammates last season. Why we've cut away from it, I don't know. But who's going to get in front? Vimman's got the inside, but as May can keep it? Vimman leads then, still leading this race here in Fuji. Fantastic racing from him, and he's now ahead of the last racing car of May. Now then, Robbo's really close onto the back of Foxy. Ninja pitted in. He's still got Crazy Buttocks ahead of the 2 Subarus. Is Robbo going to get in any position to try and go past Foxy? Is he going to try it around the outside? Yes, he does. It looks like he's going to go right around the outside. He's gone around the outside of Foxy into turn 3. What a phenomenal move that was. Is Ninja going to follow him around? They're almost going 3 wide, heading into turn 4. Ninja tries to cut back on Robbo. Disappointing from Foxy, but what a move from Robbo. There's a bit of contact, I think, there between the 2 Subarus, and now Crazy Buttocks is looking to make the move on IGTL. Where's Ninja involved in all this with Robbo? And Frosty comes down the inside of Crazy Buttocks. Now Robbo's going defensive on Ninja to protect his 3rd place from Ninja. Now Ninja is going to try and come down the inside, and they do, and they go side by side and into the final sector. It's not very good. place to overtake here. We've seen a lot of overtakes in the final corner, and now InSissy and Frosty are getting very close to each other. And there's contact. Foxy's round. Foxy's spun it under traction. So has Frosty. Foxy and Frosty come together. They're on lap 13. Hansa just cruises away past them both. So does Racer T. He gets past Foxy. And I think that's also Squeaks who gets past Foxy. Dropping down the order, there was a contact. There was a collision. And now there's Ninja, who has managed to overtake Robbo somewhere in that final sector, in and amongst all the carnage. We just saw that kicking around in the background. They've just moved on, and here comes Robbo going down the inside. He's fighting, and InSissy's behind, and it's an easy move. The power in that Volkswagen is really starting to show it to have one of the better engines. He's gone deep into turn 1. He's just braked too late, he's unbraked himself. Thankfully didn't go flying off the other end like Ada did at the start, but Robbo has been able to hold himself down, has just lost the position from Ninja, but InSissy's now right on him. Is InSissy going to get to go around the outside? He looks a bit square coming out on the exit, or is he going to follow in? He's going to tuck right behind him, he's going to follow him through. Now then, who is going to come round on the exit? InSissy goes to the outside for turn 4. Robbo tries to hold that inside line, but it's a very viable option to go around the outside. And a great move from InSissy, who gets it a bit wrong coming out of the corner, which is really unfortunate, but it's still side by side. InSissy and Robbo are still side by side as they head into this corner where the chicane would be on the not GT version. There's contact, and that's, I think, Robbo and InSissy having a bit of a coming together. That's unfortunate for both of them. InSissy could have made that move stick. I don't think there was any malicious intent in that one, but now Crazy's caught right onto the back of these two. Robbo's not made a second pit stop, and Crazy's coming down the inside of InSissy, and he does make that move stick. The squeaky buttocks car of Crazy has overtaken the extra sissy car of InSissy. Speaking of the Subarus, there's extra Frosty running in 7th and Hansa in 8th. Robbo's now in 4th. InSissy's getting a bit of a wobble on coming out the final corner. Where is Crazy Buttocks going to get involved in all this? Looks like Robbo's peeling off to go into the pits. As he does, Robbo makes his second pit stop, and I think in the background that's Hansa also pulling up. So the two Volkswagens, yep, you can just see them in the background peeling off. So there are the two Volkswagens making their second pit stop, and we're in a similar situation again, where there's one car and two Subarus around it. This time it's not Ninja, and this time it's the other way around. It's InSissy ahead of Extra Frosty. With this team, we'll be seeing if there's any team orders going to get involved in this. It doesn't look like InSissy's trying to back up Crazy Bulldogs, because Extra Frosty's not getting any closer, and if anything, InSissy's pulling away from Crazy Bulldogs. So is he going to come down the inside? He goes down the inside into turn 3. Fantastic move, and he's found his own way past. He doesn't need his teammate to back him up to him. And now we're just flicking through the order, and this is the replay of the helmet cam of when Robbo managed to overtake Foxy. We just see how he positioned his car through there. Nice, he got the run out of turn 2, around the outside of turn 3, still trying to get around the outside. I wonder if Foxy just backed up. We see him here, Robbo lifting off midway through the corner to make sure he doesn't run the wide and lose control of the car, because at this point he's got Ninja behind him. As you can see, his Ninja's headlights. In fact, we're on board with Ninja now, so this is the overtake from Ninja's point of view. We see him come through. Robbo just gets the run out at turn 3. And Foxy seemed to go very slow. It looks for a moment like Ninja would try and go down the inside. In fact, they did nearly go 3 wide. I'm really surprised that somehow involved in all this there wasn't a bigger contact than that small little punt down the inside into turn 4. Ninja did get him in the end, but a fantastic battle. We saw him go side by side for that final section. Great little race from Robbo. This is now Miss Squeakers, who's in 11th. We've got 10th place Hansa. So can the Squeaky Buttocks car and the Yorkshire T car, which one's going to finish inside the top 10? Every position counts in this one, because you can gain a whole extra point, which could go a long way into this team's championship event. With Crazy doing a good job in the Lexus, the other Lexus of Squeaks down in 11th. It's still been a pretty good race from him. Ada is pretty much having a debut to forget after this one. Been a disappointing race. He just got slammed with 6 super license points immediately, and as I was saying, 9 super license points, and you get a qualifying ban, so you will be signed at the back. 12 super license points, and you will get a drive-through in the next race. Either way, it's not a good thing to be getting. Another thing to keep in mind is Squeaks trying to overtake Hansa. Is he going to make it? No, he's not. He's not quite going to do this. Is he going to get him on the straight line speed though? It looks like he's going to try it. about them super license points real quick, they do get reset every season, so they do not carry over forever. So here we go then, on board with Squeaks. The slipstream of Hansa, we're heading on to the penultimate lap, lap 16. Is Squeaks going to be able to grab that 10th, the death of this race? Is he going to come down the inside? No, he's not. Yes, he does. He launched it down the inside. I think Hansa just braked earlier than Squeaks. He did indeed brake earlier. Squeaks is on the inside. Hansa's going to try and cut back. What a fantastic battle we're seeing between these two. And now, is Hansa going to do anything? He's going to try and have a look down the inside into turn 2. Is it enough? Is he in the position? No, he's not. And now Hansa slots behind Squeaks to follow him for another lap. But I think he's got on straight line speed to easily come back at him, should he want to. So we could see an interesting battle between Squeaky Buttocks and Yorkshire Tea. This could be an interesting battle to keep your eye on as the season develops. So here we go then. Robbo is actually closing in to M3 guy, but I don't know how big that gap is. Robbo's got fresh super softs, and M3 guy's got old softs. So Robbo's got fresher, faster tyres than M3 guy. Will this make the difference in this race? Who will grab 8th place in what could be an epic battle? At the finish, it could be a very close finish between those two. Racer Tay's done well. He's clawed himself back into 7th. He wishes he could have kept moving. Unfortunately, he looks to have reached a bit of a stalemate at the moment. Extra Frost is catching up to the back of his teammate Intercy. So we've seen these two Subarus could be a dark horse in the constructors, because the Subarus have done incredibly well this race. They've been consistently near each other, scoring a lot of points, and his hands are coming down the main straight. He's side by side with Squeaks. Is he in the position? He's got the power in that Volkswagen. He has made the move, but is he alongside? Is he ahead enough? Who's going to brake later? I think his Hansa about to move over. Yes, he does. Hansa moves over onto the braking zone to get into the right driving line. Squeaks pulls out and down the inside. Squeaks, surprisingly, has fought back. He's come back down the inside, and Squeaks is back into 10th place. What a fantastic battle we're seeing developing down this main street. Is Hansa in a position to re-overtake Squeaks? Not at the moment. It's incredibly close. This though, Robbo, he's dropped back a little bit from M3 guy, but he's not too far behind. We can still see these two Subarus still in the same position. But your winner for the first race here in Season 5, picking up where he left off, the reigning champion, Vitman G. May, he looks to come home in 2nd place. His former teammate in 2nd, and rounding out the podium is going to be the Hobo Ninja car in the Jaguar of Ninja. The two Subarus not switching positions, and it looks like Intisi will be ahead of Extra Frosty. Robbo's right onto the back of M3 guy. M3 guy's gone wide. M3 guy has found himself in an error, and now here we go. Is Robbo going to get close enough to M3 guy to make a move? He's right onto the back of him. Is he going to be in the final corner, or is it going to be a mad dash to the finish? Robbo spoons to the inside. I think there's a bit of contact. Robbo's on the inside. He's making the move stick. He's ahead, and Robbo on the final corner of the final lap has made the move on M3 guy. And Hansa's done the exact same thing on Squeaks. Hansa and Robbo, both Volkswagens, have done a carbon copy of each other on the final corner of the final lap to grab a last graph position, and they go side by side. Robbo does get 8th. Does Squeaks get 10th? No, he doesn't. What a fantastic race. We've got Foxy coming on in 12th, 13th is Hobo Fraggins, and Adder in last place. So what a fantastic race this was, with Robbo and Hansa doing an exact same thing to each other to make the move at the final corner. But Vitman G, pole position, fastest lap, and the win, takes maximum point. And what a great race this was from him. Is this a sign of things to come? Got a quick replay. So this is Hansa on the final lap with Squeaks. This is how Hansa got the move done. He's just lining it up here. This is heading into the final corner now, I think. On the final lap, you can just see up the ground, up the camera shot is Robbo overtaking. So it's not in the exact same place, but I think Hansa just used the car position. He got on the exit and was in a position where he got ahead of him at the right time and had the straight line speed to get himself up to the line. It was very close between M3 guy and Robbo. You could see him pulling out with M3 guy, hoping that he could take this one, but Hansa gets 10th. With that then, Vitman G tops the championship, Martin HD in 2nd, which is May, and in 3rd is Ninja. In the team's championship, I believe it is Vitman G Racing in 1st. It's a bit difficult to read, but with all that then, we will see you in Monza for the next race. Goodbye.